This story begins here in the early Miocene, about 20 million years ago. The ice has almost completely melted, and the sea level has risen. This is what Europe looked like at the beginning of the Miocene. It's warm, there are palm trees and crocodiles in Europe. However, the Miocene lasted 15 million years, and near the end of that period, the climate began to get cooler. And at the end of the Miocene, the Earth entered an ice age. This is Europe at the end of the Miocene. During this time, various mammals lived. The ancestors of elephants roamed, the megalodon swam in the oceans, and the great apes lived in Europe, Asia, and Africa. During this time, the great apes divided into two subfamilies. One is called Pongini, a subfamily that includes orangutans, and the other is called Hominini, which includes gorillas, chimpanzees, and humans. This division is also known as the last common ancestor of orangutans and humans. Although we separated from orangutans more than 10 million years ago, we still share many similarities. For example, orangutans have a long life expectancy. They live to be over 30 years old in the wild. They also have a long childhood.
Orangs look after their children for longer than any other primate except ourselves. It will take her 9 years to teach a youngster everything she needs to know about this complex treetop world.
They use various tools, such as sticks to get ants out of tree holes, or a leaf as a glove to work thorny branches.
Like us, orangutans have an opposable thumb that allows them to grasp and handle objects with precision. Over 20 years ago, a rescue orangutan learned how to sew by watching people constructing the huts here.
They also make their beds every night. Do you?
Orangutan has, fascinating behavior. They make nests every single day for resting and for sleeping.
The orangutans weave branches into a sturdy cradle and use smaller sticks to make a mattress.
And the nest is so amazing. You just hold them, the body, like up to 50, 60 kilos, but they can just make it in 3 minutes from branches.
They also communicate with each other using gestures and sounds. Unfortunately, there is one thing we do not share: population growth. While our population is growing to nearly 8 billion and their impact is felt on every continent, there are fewer than 120,000 orangutans living in the tropical rainforests of Borneo and Sumatra. And between 1999 and 2015, about 150,000 orangutans died in Borneo. By 2050, another 45,000 orangutans will disappear from Borneo based on the current rate of habitat destruction. All of this means that orangutans are at risk of extinction. Unfortunately, humans are the main cause of the population decline. Because orangutans live in a very specific habitat, they cannot escape when their rainforest is replaced by palm oil plantations, destroyed for logging, or destroyed by fire. Over 60% of orangutan habitat in Indonesia and Malaysia has been destroyed in the last 4 decades. In addition, large portions of their habitat are not protected. Here on the map, all colors represent orangutan habitat, but only the green areas represent forest that is not being destroyed. The red area represents unprotected forest that will be used for logging and timber plantations. In addition to habitat and food loss, orangutans are also killed for their food or when they are encountered during rainforest destruction. It is estimated that about 2,000 orangutans are killed each year in Borneo. When a mother is encountered with a cub, the mother is killed and the cub, although illegal, is sold as a pet. There have been several news reports about the condition of orangutans being kept as pets. The biggest problem with rescuing orangutans kept as pets is that they cannot be easily integrated into an orangutan group. Basically, they never learned how to behave as an orangutan because they were separated from their mother at a very young age. The story of an orangutan named Pony is the worst for me personally. 20 years ago, Pony was rescued. She was regularly shaved and kept as a sex slave. It was reported that local palm oil farmers paid £2 for sex with her. Just to remind you, she was only 6 years old when she was rescued, which means she was still a child when she was abused. When her former captor would visit her at the sanctuary, she would scream. Fortunately, many orangutans can learn the necessary skills and be released back into the wild, where they can live freely and independently. There are several rehabilitation centers and sanctuaries that help orangutans. Rehabilitation takes up to 7 years, so you can imagine how much dedication and commitment it takes. One of the most important skills orangutans need to develop is climbing, as they will spend their lives high up in the rainforest. And these are my favorite videos on YouTube. Watching these babies learn is probably the most precious thing of all.
Today, he's going to wear his leaf. It's not a fashion statement, though. It's sheltering him from the hot sun. As is often the case in jungle school, Otan's experiment catches on. Valentino copies. And so does Junior. These leaves were supposed to be a snack. Turning them into sun hats shows what creative thinkers orangutans are.
In summary, orangutans are the sweetest animals and they need to be protected. But seriously, every animal has its function in the ecosystem. If orangutans become extinct, many other animals and plants in the rainforest will also become extinct. So, what can be done to help orangutans? First, we can donate to orangutan sanctuaries and choose products that contain RSPO certified palm oil. Keep in mind that palm oil is in almost every product and is a very efficient crop compared to other vegetable oils because it requires less land. Therefore, it is unlikely that its use will be stopped. Luckily, various environmental organizations are pushing governments and companies in the right direction, and we can hope that this will lead to new laws which will ensure a more sustainable production of palm oil. In the meantime, we can learn about orangutans and love them.